There's a version of you that only exists on the other side of this exact moment. Not the moment when things finally get easier. This one, right now, while it's still heavy, while you're still unsure if any of it is working. Why does it feel like the harder you try, the heavier everything gets? Why does it feel like everyone else is moving faster while you're still fighting the same battle from last month or last year or longer? And what if the weight you're carrying right now isn't a sign that you're failing, but a sign that something real is finally being built? Feel that question for a second instead of running from it. Here's the pain underneath all of it. You've been quietly wondering if you're simply not built for this. Not strong enough, not talented enough, not disciplined enough. That voice has followed you through every hard season, whispering that maybe this time, the struggle means something is wrong with you instead of something being built inside you. Here's the hidden truth. Nobody told you early enough. Easy things don't change you. They never ask anything of your character. They let you stay exactly who you've always been. Hard things are different. Hard things take a hammer to the comfortable version of you and force something stronger to rise from the wreckage. Whether you feel ready for that or not, so shift the question. Stop asking why this is happening to you. Start asking what this is building inside you. Picture that stronger version for a second. Not someday. Right now, in your mind. See them standing taller, speaking calmer, carrying a quiet confidence that doesn't beg anyone for approval. That version of you is not a fantasy. That version is a future fact. And the only thing deciding whether they arrive is what you do with this exact moment. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are in construction.
Stand up. Breathe through the weight. Let it be hard. Keep moving anyway. Refuse to shrink. Eyes on purpose. It's supposed to be hard. Let that sentence stop fighting you. Let it finally become fuel instead of an excuse. Because the next several minutes are going to ask you to look at fear, identity, time, and everything else you've been avoiding, in a way you've never let yourself look at them before. Now let's talk about fear. Because fear is always the first thing that shows up right before anything that actually matters. What is fear really trying to protect you from? Is it protecting you from danger, or simply protecting you from change? When was the last time you let fear make a decision for you, quietly, without even realizing it was happening? And what would your life look like right now if fear had never been allowed a vote? Here's the pain. You've let fear talk you out of things you genuinely wanted. The message you didn't send. The opportunity you didn't take. The version of your life that quietly disappeared because waiting felt safer than moving. That accumulation of small surrenders is heavier than any single failure could ever be. Here's the hidden truth. You don't fear things you don't care about. Nobody's heart races over something meaningless. The size of your fear is often a direct measurement of the size of what you're capable of becoming. Fear isn't proof that you should stop. It's proof that you're finally close to something real. So shift your relationship with it completely. Courage was never the absence of fear. Courage is simply moving forward while fear is still talking in the background, refusing to let it have the final word. Picture yourself 1 year from now, having made a habit of acting despite fear instead of waiting for it to leave. Picture how different your life looks simply because you stopped letting hesitation make your decisions for you. You are not someone who waits for fear to disappear. You are someone who moves. While it's still there, move anyway. Push through the shaking hands. Decide before you feel ready. Act while it's uncertain. Walk straight toward it. Fear will always show up early. The only real question is whether you let it drive, or whether you simply let it ride along quietly while you keep walking forward regardless. Let's talk about discipline now. Because discipline is the bridge between who you currently are and who you are capable of becoming. And most people never learn how to actually cross it. How many times have you waited to feel motivated before taking action? How many days did that feeling simply never show up? And how much of your life quietly slipped away during those waiting periods? What would change if you stopped needing to feel ready before you started? Here's the pain underneath this. You blamed yourself for lacking motivation, when the real issue was never motivation at all. Motivation was never built to last. It shows up after a good moment of inspiration and quietly disappears the second life becomes repetitive again, leaving you feeling like something is wrong with your willpower. Here's the hidden truth. Discipline doesn't wait to feel inspired. Discipline remembers what motivation forgets. It shows up uninvited, on the boring days, the tired days, the days nothing exciting is happening, and it does the necessary work anyway, without needing applause or proof that it's working yet. Shift your expectation. Stop trying to feel ready. Start deciding the next step happens regardless of how you feel, because that decision, repeated daily, is the entire foundation discipline is built on. Picture your life 1 year from now if you simply did the necessary work on the days you didn't feel like it, not the exciting days, the ordinary, unseen mornings nobody will ever know about. That version of your future is built quietly, one remarkable rep at a time. You are not someone who needs to feel motivated to act. You are someone who acts and lets the motivation catch up later. Show up anyway. Do the boring work. Push without applause. Build without proof yet. Repeat it tomorrow. The version of you that you're trying to become is not waiting on the other side of motivation. They're waiting on the other side of discipline. And discipline only meets you if you stop waiting for permission and start showing up uninvited. Every single day. Now let's talk about identity. Because this might be the single most important shift inside this entire journey. Do you speak to yourself like someone who's about to win? Or like someone bracing for disappointment? Do you carry yourself like someone actively building something? Or like someone simply trying to survive the week? And if a stranger watched your habits for 30 days, who would they assume you were becoming? Here's the pain. Most people try to change their results while still quietly believing the same old story about who they are. They want a new life while carrying an old identity. And that mismatch is exactly why the change never lasts past a few weeks, leaving them wondering what's wrong with them when nothing was wrong except the mismatch itself. Here's the hidden truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. So the real question was never what do you want to achieve? The real question is who do you need to become for that achievement to feel inevitable instead of impossible? Shift the story you've been telling yourself. Every decision you make is a vote. Every time you choose discomfort over comfort, effort over excuses, you cast a vote for the identity you're building. Every time you choose the easy way out, you vote for the version you're trying to leave behind. Picture the identity you're building, standing right beside you, watching how you respond to this exact moment, either nodding in approval or quietly disappointed, depending on what you choose next. You are not fragile. You were never made to break under pressure. You grow through it. Say it. Stand taller. Speak differently to yourself. Vote with this next decision. Become it on purpose. You grow through pressure. Say that again, slower this time, until it stops feeling like a sentence and starts feeling like a fact you actually believe about yourself. Let's talk about time now. Because time is the one resource that never negotiates, never pauses, and never waits for you to feel ready. If you keep living exactly like you live today, where will you be standing in 5 years? Be honest, not hopeful. How much of your life so far has been spent waiting for a better moment instead of starting with the moment you actually had? And what is waiting secretly costing you that you haven't measured yet? Here's the pain. Somewhere right now, someone with less talent than you, less support than you, fewer resources than you, is outworking you. Not because they're smarter, because they stopped waiting for the perfect moment a long time ago, while you're still circling it, telling yourself you'll start once conditions improve. Here's the hidden truth. Time doesn't care how you feel about your goals. It moves whether you grow or not. The frightening part isn't that time passes. The frightening part is that it passes the exact same way whether you use it well or waste it completely, with no warning bell to tell you which one you chose. Shift your measurement. Stop measuring your life in years and start measuring it in days. Because days are where everything is actually decided. The year doesn't change you. The accumulation of ordinary days does. Picture the versions of yourself, 12 months from today. One kept showing up, even on the days it felt pointless. The other kept waiting for a better moment that never arrived. Both versions took the exact same amount of time to build. Move now. Not when it's convenient. Not when you feel ready. Use today fully. Stop circling the moment. The only day you actually have any power over is this one. And every day spent waiting is a day quietly spent building the version of you that you don't actually want to become. Now let's talk about responsibility. Because this is where real change either begins or quietly dies without anyone noticing. How much energy have you spent explaining why things are hard, instead of spending that same energy working through them? How much time have you lost waiting for an apology, a fair chance, or a different starting point that may never actually come? What would your life look like if you simply stopped waiting for permission to begin? Here's the pain. It is so easy to point outward. Your circumstances, your upbringing, the people who hurt you, the opportunities you never received. All of that may be completely true, and still, none of it decides what you do with the next 60 seconds of your life. No matter how unfair that feels, here's the hidden truth. The moment you stop waiting for life to be fair is the exact moment you finally start winning the only competition that has ever mattered. The one against who you were yesterday. Fairness was never a requirement for progress. Shift the ownership. Nobody is coming to do the work for you. Nobody is coming to make this easier. That is not a tragedy. That is the most liberating sentence you will hear today, because it means the outcome has never actually left your hands. Picture yourself fully owning your next move, without blaming anyone, without waiting for anyone, without needing anyone's permission to begin. Feel how much lighter that decision makes you, even while the work itself stays just as hard. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the author of what happens next. Stand up and own it. Stop waiting for fair. Start building anyway. The next step alone if you must. Decide today. Completely. Responsibility was never meant to feel like a burden. It was always meant to feel like freedom. The freedom of knowing that no person and no circumstance gets to decide your next move except you. Let's talk about the comfort zone now. Because comfort has a way of disguising itself as safety while quietly stealing your future from you one easy day at a time. How many dreams have quietly died inside your comfort zone? How many versions of you never got the chance to exist because staying the same felt safer than risking who you might become? And what is comfort actually costing you, beneath the temporary relief it offers? Here's the pain. Comfort feels good in the moment. It feels like rest, like relief, like finally exhaling after a long stretch of effort. But there's a painful difference between rest that restores you and comfort that slowly erases your ambition without you even noticing it happening. Here's the hidden truth. Comfort never built anyone remarkable. Not one person you admire became extraordinary by staying where it was easy. Every story worth telling has a chapter where someone left safety behind, not because they were fearless, but because staying still finally became more painful than moving forward. Shift how you see that familiar room. Picture your comfort zone as a small space with the door standing wide open. It never was locked. The only thing keeping you inside is the story you keep repeating about how safe it is in here. Picture yourself walking through that door today, choosing discomfort on purpose, simply because growth lives on the other side of it and nowhere else. You are not someone who needs safety to grow. You are someone who chooses growth over ease. Walk out today. Choose discomfort on purpose. Leave the familiar room. Risk something real. Stay uncomfortable longer. The strongest version of you does not live inside that room. They never did. They're standing outside, waiting for you to finally walk through that door and join them completely. Now let's talk about failure. Because failure has been deeply misunderstood for far too long. And that misunderstanding has quietly ended more dreams than any real obstacle ever could. What would you attempt if you genuinely believed failure couldn't define you? How many opportunities have you avoided simply because you were more afraid of the attempt failing than you were excited about the attempt succeeding? And whose definition of failure have you actually been living by this entire time? Here's the pain. You've probably been taught that failure means something is wrong with you. That it's proof you're not good enough, not talented enough, not ready enough. That belief sits heavy, quietly convincing you to stop trying long before you've actually run out of real options. Here's the hidden truth. Failure isn't the opposite of success. Failure is one of the ingredients success is made from. Every person who built something remarkable failed first, often repeatedly, often painfully, often in ways nobody else ever witnessed or applauded. Shift how you define the setback. Picture failure as a strict but honest teacher instead of a judge issuing a permanent verdict. The people who succeed were rarely smarter than everyone else. They simply failed enough times to finally learn what actually works, while everyone else quit after the first hard lesson arrived. Picture yourself failing at something next month, and instead of disappearing, picture yourself extracting the lesson and trying again immediately, smarter and steadier than before. You are not someone defined by a setback. You are someone who extracts the lesson and keeps moving. Fail forward, get back up faster, extract the lesson. Try again immediately. Refuse the permanent verdict. The only true failure is the one where you let a single setback convince you to stop showing up completely. Everything else was simply information, and information was never something worth being afraid of. Let's talk about sacrifice now, because nothing meaningful has ever been built without giving something up first. No matter how much we wish that wasn't true, what are you currently holding onto that's quietly keeping you exactly where you are? What habit, relationship, or distraction would you need to release in order to finally move forward with your life? And are you willing to trade comfort today for something far more valuable later? Here's the pain. Every version of the life you want requires letting go of something you currently hold onto. Comfortable routines, easy distractions, the identity that no longer fits who you're trying to become. That letting go often feels like loss before it ever feels like progress. Here's the hidden truth. Sacrifice isn't loss. Sacrifice is investment. Every hour you give to discipline instead of distraction is an hour deposited into a future you haven't met yet, but who is absolutely counting on the decisions you're making right now. Shift how you see what you're giving up. Picture that future version of yourself, looking back at this season, grateful for every sacrifice you made when nobody else understood why. Grateful for every night you chose effort over ease. Picture the quiet pride of knowing you traded something easy for something meaningful, even when no one else was watching the trade happen. You are not someone who loses by sacrificing. You are someone who invests by sacrificing. Give something up today. Choose the harder option. Trade comfort for meaning. Say no to something easy. Invest in who's coming. Self-respect is the quiet reward sacrifice always leaves behind. Long after the original difficulty itself has been completely forgotten by everyone except you. Now let's talk about mental strength and pressure. Because pressure has a way of revealing exactly who you are underneath all the noise and performance. What does pressure usually reveal about you when it shows up unannounced? Do you fold quietly? Or do you rise quietly? And have you ever stopped to consider that your reaction to pressure is a trained skill, not a fixed personality trait you're stuck with forever? Here's the pain. Pressure has probably exposed moments you're not proud of. Reactions that felt embarrassing afterward. Moments where you wished you had stayed calmer, steadier, more in control. That memory can quietly convince you that you're simply not built to handle hard moments well. Here's the hidden truth. Pressure doesn't create character. It exposes it. Whatever shows up under pressure was already inside you, simply waiting for a moment intense enough to bring it to the surface. And what gets exposed today can absolutely be retrained tomorrow. Shift your response on purpose. Mental strength isn't the absence of struggle. It's the decision to keep showing up clearly, calmly, and consistently, even while the struggle is still happening. Strength was never about feeling unshakable. It's about staying steady anyway, even while shaking. Picture yourself under the next wave of pressure, responding differently this time, calmer, steadier, less reactive, more intentional, simply because you've been training that exact response. Starting right here, in this moment. You are not someone who panics under pressure. You are someone who steadies under pressure. Breathe through it. Stay steady on purpose. Choose calm deliberately. Slow your reaction down. Train this response now. The version of you that you're building needs evidence that you can hold steady under real weight, not just evidence that you can perform well when everything is easy and convenient. Let's talk about consistency now, because consistency is the quiet and glamorous bridge between ordinary effort and an extraordinary life that most people never finish crossing. How many times have you started something with full intensity, only to abandon it the moment it stopped feeling new and exciting? What would change in your life if you simply kept showing up, even after the excitement completely wore off? And how much further would you already be if you had never stopped the first 3 times? Here's the pain. Consistency doesn't feel exciting. It doesn't come with applause. Nobody celebrates you for showing up on a random Wednesday, doing the same necessary work you did yesterday, with no proof yet that any of it is paying off. That silence can feel discouraging if you let it. Here's the hidden truth. Talent starts the journey. Consistency finishes it. The people who actually transform their lives are rarely the most gifted. They're simply the ones who refuse to stop, long after everyone else around them lost interest and quietly disappeared. Shift your expectation around proof. Picture your life if you simply repeated today's effort and changed for the next 365 days. Not more intense, just consistent. Picture how unrecognizable that compounded effort would make you by the end of that single year. Picture yourself showing up on day 200, with no dramatic breakthrough yet, simply trusting that the work is quietly compounding beneath the surface. You are not someone who needs constant proof to keep going. You are someone who trusts the process. Show up again tomorrow. Repeat the boring work. Trust what you can't see. Stay consistent. Longer. Outlast everyone who quit. Consistency is quietly working in the background long before it ever becomes visible on the surface. And that invisible work is exactly where your transformation is actually happening right now. Now let's talk about regret and your future self. Not to frighten you, but to wake you up while there's still real time left to change the ending of this story. If you look back on this exact season from 10 years in the future, what would you want to remember about how you handled it? What decision, made today, would your future self thank you for the most? And what small habit, repeated starting now, would they be most relieved you finally committed to? Here's the pain. Picture yourself years from today, looking back at this exact season of your life, realizing you had everything inside you to push through, and instead you let comfort quietly win. Feel how heavy that memory would sit in your chest, how silently it would follow you into every future room you walk into. Here's the hidden truth. Regret isn't created in dramatic moments. It's created quietly, in the small decisions you keep postponing, the conversations you keep avoiding, the effort you keep promising tomorrow instead of giving fully today. One quiet delay at a time. Shift the timeline in your mind. Now picture the opposite ending. Picture looking back and feeling proud, not because everything was easy, but because you refused to quit when it would have been so much easier to disappear quietly into the background. You are not someone building a future regret. You are someone building a future thank you. Close that door now. Choose differently. Today. Give this season everything. Become who they'll thank. Stop postponing the start. That decision is available to you right now, and this exact moment. And it will not stay available forever if you keep treating it like it will. Let's talk about purpose now. Because purpose is the difference between effort that feels heavy and effort that feels meaningful, even when both require the exact same amount of physical work. What are you actually building this for? Underneath the surface level answer you usually give people. Is it for someone who believed in you when it was hard to believe in yourself? Is it to prove something to the version of you who once felt completely invisible? And have you checked in with that reason recently? Or did it quietly fade somewhere along the way? Here's the pain. Without purpose, hard work feels like punishment. The task doesn't change, but your reason for doing it does. And that reason is what determines whether you collapse halfway through or keep walking long after everyone else around you has already stopped completely. Here's the hidden truth. People rarely quit because the work was too hard. They quit because they forgot why they started. And the moment that reason disappeared quietly, the weight suddenly became unbearable, even though nothing about the task itself had actually changed. Shift your focus back to the source. Purpose doesn't remove the difficulty. It simply gives you a reason strong enough to carry it, even on the days carrying it feels nearly impossible to manage. Picture your purpose standing in front of you right now, asking one simple question. Are you still fighting for me? Or did you quietly stop somewhere along the way without even noticing? You are not someone who works without reason. You are someone reconnecting with theirs. Remember why you started. Reconnect with your reason. Let it carry the weight. Return to it daily. Fight for it again. Purpose was never meant to be a one-time spark. It was meant to be returned to, again and again. Every single time the weight starts to feel like too much to carry alone. Now let's talk about courage and resilience together, because they were never actually meant to be separated, even though we usually talk about them like two unrelated ideas. How do you usually respond after a setback? Do you collapse into the story that you're not capable? Or do you get back up, slightly bruised, and keep walking anyway? And if you train that response deliberately, starting today, how different would the next difficult season of your life actually look? Here's the pain. Past setbacks have probably left marks. Moments where you doubted whether you were capable of recovering at all. That doubt can quietly convince you that resilience is something other people have, not something you were ever given access to. Here's the hidden truth. You don't need to feel brave to act with courage. You simply need to act anyway, while the fear is still present, while the outcome is still uncertain. Bravery isn't a feeling that arrives first. It's a label given afterward, to people who moved without ever waiting for it. Shift your evidence file. Picture yourself getting knocked down by something difficult in your future, and picture yourself getting back up faster than you ever have before. Simply because you've been training that exact response, right here. Starting in this moment. You are not someone who stays down. You are someone who has already survived every difficult thing that's tried to keep you there. Get back up again. Keep moving forward. Train this response now. Trust your own history. Refuse to stay down. Your history already proves it. If you're willing to look honestly at every difficult thing you've already survived without giving yourself enough credit for surviving it, this is it. This is the exact moment where everything you've heard so far either becomes real or quietly fades away by tomorrow morning, depending entirely on what you do in the next 60 seconds. It's supposed to be hard. Say it again, slower this time, until it stops sounding like an excuse and starts sounding like an invitation you're finally ready to accept completely. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not running out of time. You are simply standing in the exact middle of becoming someone strong enough to carry the life you've been asking for this entire time. Stop waiting for it to feel easier. Get stronger instead. Stop hoping for it. Shortcut. Build the discipline instead. Stand up. Stand taller than yesterday. Move even while it's uncertain. Fight even while it's exhausting. Rise even when nobody's watching. Keep going. Keep growing. Keep building. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you finally feel ready. Right now. It's supposed to be hard. Now get it done.